here. Clean sweep. All right.
It's silly not to, isn't it? Like, there's a few like risky picks that I'm sure maybe we'll have some differences on in the lower bracket, for example. But anybody betting against Renegades when they've won however many maps it is in a row, like it's not even like, say you look at other teams where okay, maybe like a G2 where they lose maps here and there, but they're still a solid pick. You're literally looking at a team that hasn't lost a single map, and a lot of them haven't been close. Especially going into Inferno, as Mitch said, 16-5, 16-7 the last 2 times they played it, and both against Rooster. So, yeah, we'd be mad to say anything other than this is going to be a Renegades victory.
Well, aggression coming out early on here from the CTs. And I don't think Renegades are aware of the position from ADK. He's pushed it pretty deep towards mid. And his position hasn't been compromised yet, but now they're going to be rotating back, and it's going to be the duel taking place down bottom mid, and it's going to be, well... Surprise, surprise, the Renegades coming out on top here.
Sicko got his name as SSSS.
I'm trying to figure that out. I think is that Sicko?
I think it is. He's got a kill, and it was with a P250. So I've used my deduction skills.
You're a genius, Tom.
To work that one out. But yeah, Sicko, change your damn name, man. Change your name if you can. I don't know what we're playing this on. It might not allow you to. Either way, we are going to see some trades back from the CT side. A better position to be in, and actually both players sort of stuck to the pool, but they're going to try and back away and actually just walk straight into habits. The thing is, though, that's not so much of a problem for them, as it has traded evenly. Sicko looking to try and end this round. He's actually just trying to take the fight, not even bothering with the bomb anymore. Just wants that individual battle. Something we mentioned about the Renegades is going into this, they're going to be feeling confident, and the fight is so damn awkward. He doesn't even have a gun. He's just looking to try and find a pistol. 20 seconds left. The chance to rotate has gone away, and well, it's gone from wanting that kill to needing it.
He still has time to get the bomb down, and also these names are just throwing me off. Like, I don't know who's getting who, but, well, Sicko, he's going to get the bomb down. 5 seconds on the clock. He will have ample time to put in the numbers. Netic, he's got a kit. He's down to 57 HP, but at this range, this is when the Glock can really shine. But Sicko is going to go for the duel. Yes, he is indeed, but that's a huge clutch coming out as Netic is going to shine, and that is going to be the pistol round going the way of Rooster.
Yeah, the thing that worries me, though, with the amount of kills that came in, plus the bomb plant, really? Really? We're going through this? I haven't had to go through someone, like, fake defusing the bomb in ages. Even in matchmaking, that's become, like, a taboo of just, like, oh, I can't even be bothered to waste my own time by doing that. But, hey, you know, some people, right? Some people. You got to take the small victories, right, Blair?
Well... You know what? You know what I love right now? If everyone got their goddamn names right. What are these names? What's that? Plug.hub gangster? What?
I would assume that's Danny, right?
Yeah, but you're not supposed to assume. Like, this is taking me back to 2014 online Asian Counter-Strike, where all the names used to be some random characters just thrown in, and I'm like just lost wondering who's who. But at least the HUD is correct, which has been beautiful. The PGL HUD has definitely been something that I have really grown to love. It's clean, crisp, a little bit of a retro vibe as well. I like that.
They have forced into this one. They're going all in, and well, your boy Maxi Bound, also known as Ins, has... Oh, this is horrible. Why are you doing this to us, Renegades? Why? Having some fun within their names, I guess. They are going to be already looking very, very good in this round. A lot of damage being done to the remaining players, but the problem is... losing personnel. Danny in a good position here, but he's instantly domed by Hats. That's the B site firmly under the control. And while Blair, no point, right? Just save.
Yeah, and especially when you don't really know for sure how low the players are, it's really not worth going for it, right? You have the Stufa Masters, you have the Kevlar, you have a little bit of utility as well. Yeah, just go for the save, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing. Shout out to Malta and Hats for actually using their nicknames.
My favorite of the Renegades players from this point onwards.
Absolutely. I don't even know who these other players are, like Ins, Sicko.
relationship
the server.
with Dexter over. Actually, I don't know if Dexter has his correct name.
Because he hasn't got a kill yet.
We'll see. Maybe. Like, to be honest, like I've always really enjoyed watching Dexter play. Dexy. Close enough. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. I can work that one out without having to think, which is nice. But yeah, he's one of the players, especially on this map, like I can be quite almost reminiscent of, because the way he plays this is, let's put it this way. There are a few players on Inferno I would least like to play against. One of them is JW, the other one is Dexter. And for very similar reasons. They play this map. It's unfair. They just get aggressive. They don't allow you to set anything up. They play irritating on that CT side. And the worst thing is as well, similarly to Art, Dexter is very, very good at getting away with it. And that annoys me, but at the same time, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's almost unfair, like you said, right? They go for these plays and they just get away with it, which just seems illegal. As Chelios, a legend in the local scene, it's gonna open things up. He was kind of like the hard carry for this team initially, right, when they were like starting off. But then it's good to see his teammates kind of step up as well and kind of like ease the load on his shoulders. And well, opening kill going the way of Mr. Chelios. That's Dexter looking to get something here. Not finding anything. A very, very passive setup from the side of Rooster. But I like this. I like the little bit of re-aggression coming in towards brackets, and that's going to allow Chelios to head over towards his B bomb side. But the hit, Tom, it's coming in towards A.
Oh, wait. No.
Did he not? Did he see him?
It couldn't be worse. I think ASAP might be in a position to maybe catch them. It's all going to come down to timing. He's still going back in the other direction. He's completely unaware. This leaves this defense in such an awkward position. Even ADK is completely facing the wrong direction as they walk in. He's got into the corner. I don't know if that was some sort of sixth sense, but he didn't seem to find any information. And there's the clean kill.
No way.
That's easy entry. Netic, well, he's finally going to be cleared out. And while he gets one, but Malta quickly able to trade himself. And now the remaining players are just going to have to walk back in. I'm not sure what was the reason for them wanting to rotate that heavily, but I am not a fan.
Jim did mention how they can be unpredictable, but that is a textbook. Like, you could literally make a chapter of how not to play Counter-Strike with how that round played out. You're a 5v4, you're a man advantage. Fine, you send one player out, but you have no information. There's no need to go for the stack, and especially with the fact that even the two players on the A bomb side, one player just tucked in the corner of the bomb side, and one player with the deagle towards apartments area. Like, there's no way for a trade. You have no eyes at all. And Renegades are just going to be wondering, like, what the hell was that round? Like, because we're surprised. Renegades are definitely going to be surprised. And Rooster, what the hell are you doing? That round made no sense.
I think in some cases, you almost have to give some props to Renegades as well, just for actually clearing some of those angles. Because I think it's very, very easy, especially that back right corner of the site, to just go, oh, there's no one here. And then just like carry on and start planting the bomb. Somebody dies. And Rooster managed to get away with that round. Instead, though, methodical. And it's what we've come to expect from this squad. They're the reason they're the favorites. They're the reason they're the best in the region at the moment. And we are going to see still the scout and the smaller amount of weaponry kept forward into this round. It's not going to be particularly pretty, but I do like the fact that they've gone for a little bit more of an aggressive stack in towards Banana Hats, though. Just playing that solo entry role, taking some risks. He's got teammates to support him. And now left alone is ASAP. The rotation's coming, but, well, the rotation doesn't have much weaponry, so it's mainly onto him.
Chelios with a scout still could, you know, get a couple of tags in, then you can have ADK with the P250, maybe trying to finish it off. Of course, I'm being very, very optimistic here. Because ADK is far, far away from the action, and Chelios escapes with an M4. That's very, very lucky. Very, very fortunate.
Oh, that made me feel so uncomfortable. He's just picking up the rifle as the smoke is disappearing, and just luckily there's no one on the other side. It makes your cheeks clench, that's for sure. I'm sort of caught within two minds of what Renegades are actually going to do here. They've faded away from their more aggressive positions on Banana, and now they're just going to go for the classic setup. Again, unfortunately for The CT side, their gamble rotation was completely wrong, and it looks like Malta has just caught them on the other side, and that's actually going to force them to go back towards the A site instead. So another easy round for the Renegades, and although FAMAS isn't ideal going into the next, I really wouldn't mind seeing it saved.
Yep. So, can he? Well, it's not bad. But there is a player right next to ASAP. And yeah, Sicko, he doesn't miss those. Renegades. It's calm, it's methodical, it's nothing too crazy. And it's looking good so far. Rooster, though, they're going to finally go for the buy. AWP coming up from his Chelios. He is, of course, naked. Nothing else apart from the AWP. No Kevlar, no armor, no utility, nothing to speak of. That is unfortunate. It's completely blinded when he got the kill, but yeah. That is the way the cookie does crumble sometimes. But now, the first real test for Renegades, if you ask me, is going to be against the proper buy.
I am interested to see how Rooster are actually going to play Inferno, because it seems like one of the maps. So as said, I watched a little bit of them play yesterday. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but versus Maka, it was really their T side that impressed me, because well, it seems like the calls are good, and when they actually group up as a unit, I think they do quite well. CT side, very much based on individual plays. Wasn't really a fan of it at all. In fact, they lost their CT side of Overpass versus Maker. So I'm worried for them here, because this is where we're going to see the class of Renegades in comparison. You can't take these guys on individual duels, so you have to beat them in team play. And I'll be honest, I don't have much faith in that player.
Oh, ye of little faith. Well, I don't really blame you, honestly. But they are a team who, this is my first time having an opportunity to cast these guys, but having, you know, just following the Australian scene, speaking to Elfish Guy and Pilsky and all these guys, right? They've always said good things about this team. They don't overstate it. They're not like, oh, it's the second coming of Renegades, or like they're like an Order Avant. No, they have the upset potential, but they are kind of these plucky upstarts who have managed to surprise quite a few people, but it's going to be, well, I thought the entry would actually go the way of hats. The flashbang was actually kind of good, but Netic's going to come out on top. But they're all kind of caught inside of that bomb side, but somehow they're winning the duels. Our Rooster. Now it's a 3v5 and 20 seconds on the clock. Time is running out for Renegades.
They have to get going, and it might be too little too late. Dexter can't do anything, and it's all on to Sicko. 12 seconds. Push coming in from the remaining players to try and support. He hits the no-scope onto the first. The second is actually close within the site, and I think that was Danny hitting the shot through the wall as well. So, hey, that works out for him. Rooster managed to hold on to that round, and, well, it was a good idea from Renegades, but just the execution of it didn't quite go to plan. I think, as you said, the flashbang looked like it would set them up, but I think it actually blinded two players of the T side as well. So there was no real chance of the trade as they looked to come back in, and from then on, fighting with a man disadvantage, rotations coming in thick and fast, they just never really got to do anything.
For Renegades, almost like, hey guys, remember when we walked into the bomb site in a 5v4 and we still got a free bomb site? so maybe it's a 5,000 IQ play by Rooster, just throwing that round away just to lull Renegades into a false sense of, you know, security. Doesn't matter, Hats gets a kill. Chelios is gone.
Not the start that they were looking for, and he was probably the main culprit on their CT side of over-aggression. Like, he definitely did make some pretty tasty plays on Overpass, but there were rounds where he would, like, wide peek long all the way out into playground with an AWP on his own, and not the biggest fan, I'll be honest. So he's been caught off here. Not really anything crazy aggressive, but it's enough to hand Renegades an initial frag. Now, their money itself is not in the best of states.
Right, very early on in the game, where it's like just 5 rounds.
Hello?
Peter.
Okay, I lagged quite hard there, so I'm gonna
right.
I'm gonna shoot that as just me.
but a trade did take place. Yeah, just you. It's fine. I've been there, Tom. But a great hole coming out from JHD Rock, but Malta through the smoke. He gets a kill, gets another one on the Gangster. Gangster's done, and Netic's gonna be left alone in 1v2. This is still winnable though. Malta's down to 8 points of health, but there is a man still alive. It is a man himself. It's Dexter. sitting right next to the bomb.
An opportunity for Netic here with Malta so desperately low, but that hasn't stopped him with the players before, and it won't stop him here. 4-2 for Renegades. Another man steps up to the plate. And Rooster, unfortunately, they've got nothing left to dine with.
And that is... I still don't know how Malta just got those kills. Okay, great shot. Okay, unreasonable.
What?
Jumps up, spotted the third one as well. That's some neat shots coming from Malta. And if you look at this lineup, right, even when they had like Dick Stacy and when they had Urcast, like Malta was one player everyone's like, he doesn't really fit into this lineup. He's not like a top frag or whatever. But over the years, like he's kind of the role player. He's not the guy who's going to be top fragging. You have players like Dexter. You have like these players like Sicko and Hats, who are the new stars of the team, so to speak. But Malta has been quietly the clutch player, if you know what I mean. He's a guy who just steps up when needs be. And aside from that, he just does his job. He doesn't do anything too crazy. But I think that's the difference between Renegades and a lot of the other teams in the Australian region, is the fact that when the going gets tough, any one of these 5 players can just step up.
Well, yeah, I think it's depth in roster and depth in map pool, which is a scary prospect. Like, obviously, when you get to the tier 1 scene, it's a lot harder to sort of talk about depth in map pool because, for example, if they're banging out every team in the region on Mirage and then go off and face against like maybe an informed Mouse Sports or a FaZe or someone like that, it's going to be a very different game. Like, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as easy, or even take a Na'Vi and put them in that mix. I think you're going to have a rough time. So I'm interested to see how they convert it over to playing against like teams when they can get back to it. But yeah, in these sort of matches, as said, that to find a weakness for Renegades is very, very difficult. And I think you more have to look towards the strength of some of your players. Like maybe if Chelios can start winning some of those battles versus Sicko, who knows, maybe the game can change a little bit. But from the standpoint so far, I think the first thing they need to do is stop Hats getting away with so much on the entry.
True. That has been a problem so far. And also just to touch upon, like, I think you mentioned how, these overextensions, like Chelios especially, how he likes to be a little bit more flamboyant and going for these wide swings, which you're not a big fan of. I think it goes to show with the caliber of opponents these two teams play, right? Rooster have played more games, way more maps and way more games than Renegades have if you look at HLTV history. But the majority of these games are against some of the tier 2 opposition, while if you look at Renegades, lesser games, but against Avant, Order, Chiefs. So you do start to build up some of these bad habits as...
Hello?
make a small mistake. He's going to win those.
Oh, no. It's happened again. It looks like I'm all alone. Well, it seems to be a recurring issue. Hopefully, it will get sorted in just a moment. There's going to be the T's playing almost a little bit of a bonus round here. The problem is their finances aren't in the best of states, that they have been losing players over the last few rounds, and DK about to come under pressure. Dexter, just sheer aggression out towards this site, and while ASAP now trying to cover off the angle, he's the only player here. There is no one else left on this A site. He is the one defender, but luckily for him, it looks like Renegades are going to opt to take this one just a little bit slower. Rotations come in somewhat from Chelios. Again, he doesn't have any utility, so he can't really help out his teammate too much. It looks like it is going to be all on to Mr. ASAP.
Mr. ASAP. Well, got a lot of work to do. All alone. And got Chelios. Okay, that's a good one. There's a little bit of gap in the smoke. He's going to make it work. But it still has a lot of work to do. The bomb, just over the head there. But I do believe there's a box in the way, so I don't think we would have got the kill anyway. But 4v3, bomb down. Yeah, this is nigh unwinnable, especially when the other two teammates haven't really moved from the B bomb site. And there you have it, Renegades. They just, yeah, painful to play against.
I think that round's a little bit of bad luck, but it's also just the case of, again, similarly to what we saw from Mako earlier in the day, where I said I don't think they have too many particularly good default setups. I am starting to question whether or not Rooster fall within that bracket as well, where it's like you can already see them starting to try and make gambles, which is something we see quite regularly, for sure. I don't think that's too much of a problem to take risks and send players over early. But you then have to have the correct player in space to actually cover that off. So, for example, the fact that they lose a player within a matter of seconds, like, that's not good enough. Like, if you're going to be playing an aggressive angle, do it in a round where if you die, it's not the end of the world. Like, you have other teammates to support you. Like, for example, if they're aggressive on Banana and they lose a player there, 2 more players on Banana, that's fine. You lose a player in Apps, and you could see how awkward the rest of their defense became just because of that one kill. And the problem with that is, so far, Renegades have got most, if not maybe even all, of the opening duels. So if that's going to be the case, you have to be very careful that your setup isn't a one and done.
Oh, indeed. And I feel like that's very telling, right? Like, when you play at a decently high level, you obviously have a game plan based around a 5v5. And you see this with a lot of amateur teams, right? Some of the newer teams just trying to make a mark, playing some ESEA Opens and whatnot, where they have a lot of set strats and setups based on all 5 players being alive, but suddenly you're a man down, you're 2 men down. How do you adapt? How do you make it work? How do you reclaim some map control? How do you convert that round? That is something I feel like many of the tier 3, tier 4, amateur teams struggle with. And for Rooster, yeah, they are making a name for themselves right now in the region, but still, they have a lot of work to do. Because for Renegades, that's the thing. They get a man advantage. They're not going to allow you to kind of grind back into the round. They're going to make sure they're going to be waiting for that aggression on an extremity of the map. But here we go, though. 62, 45 seconds on the clock. It's going to be a full-fledged B hit by the looks of things, and they might be walking into a stack. So this is a good opportunity for Rooster to try and steal a round away from Renegades.
Oh, double spray down from Danny. Not bad start. And actually, Netic alongside him as well. This hold is looking much better on the B side, but the problem is, with every head you cut off, there seems to be another that grows back. There's still 2 players standing. So they haven't been able to get the bomb plant down just yet. Smoke will at least give them that opportunity. Not the safest of plants in the world, but Malta does get it down, and Sicko has finally been found. It took ASAP a bit of time, but now it's left all onto Malta. You mentioned him as the clutch king. The first will go his way, but ADK is not going to allow for anything more. It will be a 3rd round on the board for Rooster, but again, it's a costly one.
It is. And for Renegades, they still have money in the bank. Malta's at 8k. Hats is the only one that's sitting on 2,300. Everyone's above 4,000 and above, like 6k, 7k, and a couple of these players as well. But a good hold coming from Danny here. Helped out ably by Netic. But yeah, for Renegades, they're going to have no trouble buying up. A gun will be dropped by Malta over towards his teammate. And that means Rooster. It's punishing, isn't it, this economy? Like, you win a round, and now you're just ready to almost get reset. They have everything to work with, though. 4 sets of kits. They have a lot of utility. AWP in the hands of Chelios, and they even have an AK-47 for ASAP. But now, Sicko, the top of his own. Can he find an opening? And like you mentioned earlier, Tom, they've been winning a lot of their opening deals.
I did like this approach, though, from Rooster. Trying to be a bit more proactive. They've taken the apartment's control. They've switched up how they played. At least how does Malta get away with these sort of pushes, though? And what? That's lucky from ADK. It almost seemed like he round the corner, not even knowing that there was a player there. The problem is, again, though, they've been exposed. What their idea was, at least, has been shown very early in the round. And because of that, Blair, again, it's on to 1 man.
1 man and 1 man alone position compromise. There's nothing he can do. Just get the hell out of there. Gonna flash himself off down to 10 HP. Is he gonna like get some lucky wall bang or a kill through the smoke? Fine, try and attempt it, but this is where you just fall back. Yeah, that's not worth it. You have nothing in that war chest of yours. You want to save these 3 guns. Still, it's gonna be a rough buy for Danny and ASAP. They're gonna be maybe, I don't even think they'll be able to be dropped. Maybe ADK can drop a FAMAS over towards ASAP, perhaps. Danny can maybe buy a pistol for himself, but this is rough, man. You win around and immediately just force a save because you don't have the money to risk going for this retake. That's just the way it is in this current Counter-Strike economy.
I think the big problem as well is the fact that on the other side of wherever they seem to take their risk, they've been losing an entry. So that's now 2 rounds where one round they stack banana and they lose an entry instantly on A. The next round, they try and go for an aggressive apps plant or position. And obviously they lose a man on A as well. But the bigger problem is the B site entry that came in. I think it was Sickle in the AWP. The second you lose that, and they've spotted players aggressive in apartments, it's very easy for Renegades to make the read. And I'll be honest, like, they seem to be very good at making the reads anyway. If you're giving them extra info, then that's a bit more of an issue.
Actually, money actually wasn't that bad. They do have enough to eke out that buy. A couple of guns being dropped. They need to somehow convert this one, Tom. Renegades 7-3 up. It is starting to look a little grim at the moment. And like you mentioned earlier, like Malta, some of the kills is getting towards apps under the lurk. It's just unreasonable, and that nade is unreasonable as well. Netting down at 33 points of health. They're just gonna have to fall back. Nothing they can do. ASAP stuck, can't do anything. At least a trade does come in. 80k finding Malta. Look at Dexter's reaction to that. This is so smart from Dexter. There's no way they're gonna be expecting his position so very deep. Oh, this could be brutal. You can hear him running as well. You can hear the rotation. They have no idea. It's such a big hole in the defense. And now Dexter, he's going to get a free kill. Now they know there's just one more player on the A bomb site, one player towards B. Which way they're going to go doesn't matter. They all die.
Oh my god.
What is that? Oh.
This is the thing, though. It's something I mentioned of his, like... There are players that you watch that just seem to be cerebral when it comes to Counter-Strike. Like, the reaction of him there is not the reaction you would get from a lot of other players that might be more passive or more calm. The second he realizes there's space, he exploits it. And same we talk about art. Like, there's a method to the madness, and it seems aggressive, but there was never really any risk in that round for Dexter. I think the only thing that could have caught him is if they rotated 2 players from the B side, which, let's be real, that there's no reason for them to do that. So it's hard to play against. They're already having real troubles just with, again, a lot of these entry frags, and now add into the mix some economy problems and what looks to be maybe a flawless round. Yep, it's not getting any better for Rooster. This is the Renegades we wanted to see. This is the Renegades we expected to see, and unfortunately, well, Rooster are almost just looking to try and break their record of rounds at this point. We've seen 5 rounds, we've seen 7 rounds. Maybe they can get to 9.
High hopes, Tom. High hopes.
Maybe they can get past 3.
Yeah. No. 12 rounds in. We have 3 more rounds remaining to be played. And looking at the money for Renegades, they're not going to be feeling any pinch money-wise at all for the remainder of this half. For Rooster, though, listen, man, even to get to 6 rounds, which I kind of doubt. They might get a 4 or 5, maybe, but winning the last 3, it just looks unlikely. Because there's so many holes in the defense, and Renegades just have such a good read on them. Chelios at the edge. Oh, there's a missed shot. There were 3 people, but Walter's gonna get a kill onto a player. Hats finds one more. Netic, at least with a trade, is trying his best to stay alive here, but he's burning alive. The Molotov just forcing his position back, and Sicko is just going for the wall bangs. They're just deathmatching, Tom.
Yeah, they're having fun. You can see it, and I think they need to do that in some of these matches, because as we sort of mentioned, motivation might be a little bit down at times. Oh no! That probably would have been a kill. It's going from bad to worse as the remaining players of Renegades look to try and corner in. His teammates have just given up. They've gone, yeah, you know, I'm low. If you get a kill or 2, I'll start rotating. Well, slaughter, absolute slaughter every single time. And although it wasn't a big factor in this round, I want to point out the same thing happened again, where they go for a 3-man banana stack. Absolutely fine with that. But Blair, where was the first man to die? It was on A. Like, if you're stacking somewhere, your A site players can't be the attackers. They can't be the aggressors. They have to be more defensive. Like, I understand you want to go for information plays, but if you end up within like 10, 15 seconds of the round with 1 man on a bomb site and 3 on the other, something's gone wrong. Something's gone badly wrong. And that's now, what, 3, maybe even 4 rounds where I can say that that's happened for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. And even if you look at where he died towards quads, towards short, just holding an angle. And that's the thing. Renegades, they're just the sharper aimers, right? They're gonna win those duels. You want to play a little bit more passively, turtle up, maybe play towards the apps area, and completely agree with you over there. And again, Renegades, man, the way they're just toying with the food, it feels like at times, just hyper aggression, and that's a scary thing if you're a Rooster. Like early on, like sure, you showed some glimpses of life. You were able to kind of win some close duels, force Renegades to go for some clutch plays. But right now, they're winning it at will. As a nice tag from Chelios, but doesn't get the kill. Hats down to just 13 points of health. And now look at the pace. Look at the pace, though. 2 kills for Chelios and 80k combined. And ASAP's going to find a kill. That's a huge mistake from Renegades. And suddenly, it's all on Sicko. That just fell apart quite miserably for the Renegados. Maybe getting a little ahead of themselves.
They just Molotov their own player out of apartments. Well, maybe a small mistake, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scale of things. This is the first time we've seen the aggressive plays of Rooster actually pay off, though. Like, the success of their individuals has finally pulled them off around. Sicko, of course, so much money. He's just going to try and do a little bit of extra damage, force them to potentially rebuy a gun or two, maybe take an AK out of action, maybe even get rid of the AWP. That's all he really needs to try for. In the end, just going to end up falling. So 10-4, Rooster at least get themselves a little bit further up. 80k going to celebrate his single round. But, you know, hey, it's something. It can at least maybe get some wind in the sails, which is something I would like to see at least.
Yeah, I mean, 5 rounds. That's something to work with. You know, you win the pistol, you play the anti-ecos right, and suddenly it's like a 10-7, 10-8. That's something which is way more reasonable, at least mentally, right? Like 10-8, that's not bad at all. 10-7, we can come back from that. But it's 11-4. It's a little bit harder, right? It's a small, there's 1-2 rounds of a difference. It doesn't really make much of a difference if you look at the overall scoreline, but it's about that mental barrier. And right now, Rooster not just facing off against a better team, they're also fighting their mental block where they're like, come on, guys, like, I know we're kind of like the better teams out of all the new up-and-coming ones, but we're facing off the kings of OCEANIA Counter-Strike right now. A team who have won 11 maps in a row, haven't dropped a map ever since they came up from the player break, and also who have won 5 events back-to-back. That is just ludicrous.
Yeah, they're making stacks. You got to rate it. I'm sure that they can't go anywhere to spend the money, but no. I'm sure they're having some pretty good food while they're at home. Ooh, what? Okay, a nade kill and an AWP through smoke and wall. That might be something to finally bring them a 5th round. Chelios, that is a big play that was well needed, but it doesn't stop anything. Dexter actually playing the SG, and the only players I've really seen playing the Krieg at this point are AWPers who can't afford an AWP. I think that's about it. There haven't really been anybody actually choosing to buy it. So, hey, maybe Dexter is doing it for style points, or maybe he still feels like the gun is viable.
Well, it still has the best first bullet accuracy in the game. And, yeah, if you're just going to tap heads...
You haven't seen me with a revolver, so, you know.
All right.
I have to wind it up first.
I wish they fix the R8 though. Like, just make it like a deagle, you know? It's fine. Netic, life is getting a little hot and heavy here, and he's gonna spot a first player. Oh, nice little wild spray there, Malta. It's taken a little unfortunate if you ask me, and Dexter's not gonna waste any time. I like it from Dexter. Okay, all right, Chelios. There's nothing you can do there. Netic trying to be cheeky on top of the smoke, but Sicko replies back, and Sicko almost gets taken down by ASAP. ASAP has everything to work with here, Tom. But he has 2 players to find. He knows where Sicko was. That should be it. And Sicko just runs out and goes for the quick kill. He does a bit of damage. And it's gonna be the huge clutch coming in from ASAP. That's a round they desperately needed. And I'm actually genuinely surprised Dexter didn't get a trade there. But Rooster, they get to 5 rounds. And what a weird round that one was.
I reckon if he had an AK, he gets that trade. I genuinely believe that. I think that just when you miss that first shot, as you said, it's very accurate. But if you miss it, the rest is not so accurate. So, it's something for Rooster. I guess the last couple of rounds as well came off some big individual plays. I think that could at least give them a bit of a confidence booster going forward. And as said, from the match I watched yesterday versus obviously a lesser opponent, they look good on the T side. Like, they seem to play well as a unit. It seems like the calling's decent as well. It just seems like their CT side is too based off individual aggressions and solo plays that saved them through, rather than maybe a little bit more depth, which might come with some more time. But now, though, they've got to try and break the CT side of the Renegades, and, well, I guess you could say not be broken by the CT side of the Renegades, because when this man is about, you got to watch out.
Need to do with Dexter. Oh, I love this. They're just complete avoiding him. They're like, yeah, it's fine. Let him be there. It's not... Wait, you knew he was there. What are you doing, Chelios? As Dexter now trapped alone. He's waiting for backup, and they've arrived, but he doesn't need any backup as Mr. Dexter, and the map is his laboratory. As the remaining members just charging in, just mowing them down as Dexter finds 3. One man remains Netic in a 1v3. This is winnable. The bomb is planted, but they have a kit in the hands of Sicko, but he's trapped inside the library. If he gets taken down, which he will, now it's getting a little bit rough. They're going to try and stick it. Netic finds another kill. The 1v3. Can he pull this one back? Malta. He's going to run out, take the duel, takes his head off. He's got time to pick up the kit, and he will get the defuse as well, and that is going to be the round. Oh, man. Dexter is... he's something.
I can only assume that somehow he managed to thread the needle there, that they didn't see him. I don't know how, but he did. And that's the problem. Like, this is the space that he gathers for your team. This is the plays that he makes for the squad. And the terrifying thing as well is, like, this is the person you look towards to in-game lead. Like, that's someone who's basically consistently finding information because he's the first man in. And a lot of the time, he's the last one out as well. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it works for them.
He is the best player currently residing in Australia. I think we can all agree on that, as Netic will be burnt alive. And helps out with the MP9. It's an AK-47 retrieved, as Dexter's got to find Danny as well. This was a forced investment, and they're just getting slaughtered. Dexter's going to find a couple of his own, and things are looking grim in the Rooster side. 80k does reply back, so at least a trade does take place.
Well, there's going to be a push through, a bit of teamwork to make the dream work, and it will be 12-5 in favor of Renegades. Yeah, I think it's hard to disagree with your point, though. Either you would consider him the best, or at least your favorite to watch. I don't think that's arguable. Like, if you don't enjoy watching Dexter play Counter-Strike, then he's probably, like, I don't know, stolen your girlfriend or something. Like, he must have done something to Mr. Steal Your Girl. Like, if you don't enjoy watching him play, then there must be some, like, bad blood where you're like, ah, damn, Dexter. Maybe if you're a fan of Rooster, that might do it to you. So, no, I hate watching him play.
I think you can, apart from, let's say, JKS, I guess you can give an argument that he is the best player from Down Under right now, at least in the past 1 year, if you ask me. And I might even say, considering the JKS, the teammates that he has to work with, and how long he's been outside, Dexter, majority of his time, has been playing these domestic events, and he's somehow managed to kind of shine, so to speak. But is this going to be a round where Dexter finds multi-kill? No, it's not. He does so much damage, though, and there we go. It's just... strikes like a madman. He finds 2 kills, 3 kills make that, and leaves it down to 1v2. Kind of doable for Netic. He's got a Deagle, he's got Kevlar. Let's pick up the bomb, but Malta's there and waiting. Okay,
I think that's the problem with a lot of these rounds, is the kind of doable seems to be the phrase that we're using a lot. Like, every single situation that they get in that's even possible still ends up, well, with something like this.
Yeah. Again, helped out by Dexter, mind you. I had my alarm set, I don't know why, for 2:10 in the afternoon, Tom.
That's the
I
time
don't know if you heard that.
That's the time you're supposed to give Rooster some hope.
It's kind of like the alarm bells popping up. Guys, got to do something here.
Ooh, okay.
That is something. That's something.
I feel like Chelios has definitely been one of the players where you can see the glimmers of, like, the individual prowess, at least. We saw the round where he manages to get the wall bang alongside a nade kill. Actually, Danny G's come up alongside him. The problem is these rounds always seem to swing back. Is that Molotov going to spread? He somehow managed to survive in the corner. Oh, it's awkward, but he just about gets away with it. The rest of the team are going to go rotating. Now, what they might not realize is they're actually going to go rotating into a player still here. Hats is actually waiting, so this could be the surprise factor, especially if he can find this first duel, but, well, it doesn't quite work out with the FAMAS. and Rooster are pretty much guaranteed this round. The main question, Blair, is whether or not Sicko gets to keep this all.
Yeah, Charlie is still looking around like a hunter. I was so sure that whoever the player was that Chelios took down, he would have heard him.
We should have heard the burn. Like, he was tagged by the Molotov. So, yeah, there's not really an excuse for not knowing he's there. Unless he expected him to run the other way through the Molotov. So then he could have been maybe back down Banana or even in CT.
Or maybe teammates were yelling in the mic. That's why you keep this comms clear, boys and girls. It happens to me all the time, dude. Like, just like trying to save my gun. My teammate's like, dude, he's coming to get you.
Well, you know, when you're trying to cast a match and somebody's alarm goes off.
That could be the case, or someone's trying to drill into my ceiling.
That one's probably a little bit worse. I'll be honest. I will say that there seems to be someone who lives above me who must just like craft stuff out of wood or something, because they drill like 4 or 5 days a week, and I don't know what you could be drilling at that point. Either that, or he just hears me shouting and goes, you know what, for revenge, I'm just gonna leave a drill on all day. But that's very much possible, and in which case, I think I'm still louder, so fair enough.
He just doesn't like you, Tom.
Who does?
Fair. Your girlfriend.
Yeah, sometimes.
Very reasonable, as Sicko gets the opening kill. That's the AWP saved. And Malta, oh, he gets a tag on a Danny. And they're going to come pushing on in. I like that. They just hold W, speed up the pace a little bit. But the Deagle is going to do damage.
Oh, no!
Malta finds 2, actually finds just a 1. But Netic helping out Malta with a TK. And suddenly, it's a 4v2. How has this all gone wrong, Tom?
Well, as the Chuckle Brothers would say, oh dear, oh dear. This is starting to completely fall apart, but they have managed to get this into a workable position. You've got Sicko still on the AWP, but everybody else is remaining on pistols. Kevlar is available to them, but they haven't managed to retrieve any of the weaponry as of yet. They've got a kit, so they can just get moving into this site, but the kills come in quick for the remaining side of Rooster. And for Sicko, once again, unfortunately, it's looking like he just has to go for the save. They've made this one costly, but at the same time, money's not going to be in the best of states. Is he going to get both? He is! He cleans up the remaining players. Huge amounts of damage coming in for the side of Renegades. But as said, they don't really have the money to go for this. However, there may be a temptation, Blair.
I wouldn't go for it if I was them. And Dexter, he's got a very stable mind on his shoulders. So, yeah, there you go. That's a safe call. I mean, you did quite a bit of damage with that buy, and now, you know, you've hurt the economy. There's no need for you to hurt your own economy. Just work around the AWP of Sicko, try and get some opening picks. You have those Deagles, you have a couple of P250s, you can still do a bit of damage, and you're going to be aggressing with Sicko. Again, the opening kill. He has been so consistent with his CD side opening picks, and now Dexter's just pushing on in. He's going to find one. He picks up the AWP, and he's going to get another kill. This is ludicrous, and it's a player trapped. And Dexter's calling for backup. He's calling them out. He's like, there's a player trapped in Banana. Let's find him. And look at Dexter, the guy. How is he walking with balls that big? I don't know. But now it's a 2v5, and it's all gone wrong again for Rooster. But this time around, I don't see them kind of digging their way out of this one. Or maybe they will. Maybe they will.
ASAP has other ideas, and some of the remaining players are only left with pistols. This is looking good. Malta has managed to at least retrieve a rifle, but his teammate in hats has absolutely nothing. Just a USP, although that would be enough to kill off ASAP and at least give the 1v1. Look at the bomb, though. They don't have control of it. Unfortunately, the CTs are unaware of this, so it is just going to be left down all the way by the nice little scooter.
The Vespa.
Probably had more bombs planted on it than the site.
Okay, 80k drops down. That's a big kill. And now he's gonna clear the side out. Malta spots a player out. They both see each other, and that's a bomb heading towards B straight away. 100%. There we go. Again, scary rounds, man. 2v4, 2v5. Somehow Rooster are able to bring it back. But that's going to hurt their economy. So despite them winning a couple of rounds back-to-back, 3 rounds, in fact, back-to-back now, they don't really have much money to show for it.
Yeah, they need to keep at least 2 alive here. Like, ASAP's so low that even getting out of the site might be difficult. And Malta, although this seems done, still has a very good chance, especially if they peek him together. There's a chance they even line up, but he pulls out a nade. ADK will get the trade almost instantly, and they are slowly grinding these rounds out. But as you said, there's pretty much a chance now that this buy round is won by Renegades. And that's it. Like, that's the money as bad as it can be. You've wiped out all of your loss bonus. You're not making any cash. And, well, if it wasn't for the fact that ASAP actually played a very, very good round here, killing players while behind him and teaming up with ADK to sort of turn things back, they would have been already out of this match.
A little bit of mistake from Renegades as well. It's like a 5v2. That's where you all peak together, right? That's when all of you guys just peak bottom mid, top mid together. Instead, it just went in 1 by 1. But again, taking nothing away from ASAP. That was some great work with him alongside ADK. And finally, opening kill going the way of Rooster. That's big. Dexter, though, he's ready and waiting. But Danny just jumps up the drive-by with the MAC-10. And suddenly, signs of life, Tom. Signs of life for the Rooster roster.
Yeah, this is the classic. Like, struggle in the rounds where your opponents don't have anything. Smoke push is risky, but Malta's unable to do anything. And then they're doing fantastically well in what is the buy round. It seems like momentum's now up for the side of Rooster, and this is exactly what we wanted to see. Some individual plays, bringing them through, some good positioning when they come to the banana take, trading effectively. This is much better from them. And sure, it took some sort of questionable rounds just moments ago, but now the Renegades are actually starting to fall a little bit flat.
Yeah, they had 3 players with the B bomb site and just got completely mowed down. Dexter not even getting a single kill. And I do believe he didn't have any helmet there. Maybe that's why the MAC-10 came out on top there. But Rooster just kind of fighting fire with fire. Got to give him credit for it. Good damage with the nade as well. Oh, the MAC-10 through the smoke as well. It took down Malta just to like 14 points of health. Although that wouldn't really have mattered. Chelio's getting a little bit of overkill with the headshot over there. But 13-9. This is looking very, very solid. And again, I want to go back to the first half, Tom. Imagine a world where they won 6 rounds. 7 rounds, maybe. Potentially. This would be neck to neck.
Well, especially considering that a lot of the rounds in the early stages, at least, were actually relatively close. Like, there were a few where it kind of could have gone either way, and there were like triple spray downs, or we saw them come up trumps with the pistols a couple of times. And again, like, there's that round from Inns where he manages to bring it back. So they had aspects to, yeah, pretty much put themselves in a good position here. The problem I'm seeing, though, is that, okay, so we haven't had many buy rounds. Like, the last 3 rounds, only one of them was a buy round, and it didn't go well for Renegades, granted, but they took a very aggressive stance. I still have to feel like there is another level to their game, another little bit of depth that will just make this tougher for the Roosters. But as said, it's good signs, especially coming up against opponents later in the tournament. If they can go this close versus Renegades, chances are they can beat most other teams.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you know, you look at other teams, like you have the invited teams, right? You have Chiefs, you have Ground Zero. Suddenly, and again, Rooster have beaten teams like Avant and even Order, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, they're a team to not really be trifled with. And again, remember, this is not the map pick from Rooster. This is Renegade's map pick. You know, already putting up a pretty decent fight. And if they can make this round clean, they can build up a little bit of a cushion when it comes to the economy as well. And suddenly, this game might actually be on. Like, as unlikely as it was earlier, I see a world where they make this close.
Yeah, I think a few individual plays that maybe shouldn't have been needed, but end up actually pumping you up as a squad. Like, it sounds silly, but it's like, when you're, it doesn't matter if you're against Pistols and when you're up against Renegades or someone like that. If you go into a 2v4 and then you win that 2v4, you're celebrating it like you just won like a convincing round. Like, that's a big victory for you. So I think that the manner of the way Rooster actually won a few rounds and then getting a couple of clean ones back to back could actually be better than if they just had like a few clean ones in a row, because it's put them in a position where you can tell the blood is pumping. You can tell individually we're starting to see the likes of ASAP start to perform. Chelio's had a couple of entry kills. Netic seems to be doing quite well as well. So, and now we're looking at Renegades going, Okay, now it's your turn. Now it's your turn to show the depth of this squad. Sicko's had a few missed shots over the last few rounds, which was something that within the early portions of the game, he had none. Like, he was hitting everything.
It was indeed, but now the opening kills. Going the way of Rooster. Malta, all alone, spraying through the smoke. Ooh. That got real scary there, but he will win the duel and he will survive. His backup has arrived in the form of Dexter. But for Rooster, all 4 remaining players, they seem to be fancying his A bomb site. They're going to be tossing a little bit of extra utility towards that B bomb site to try and keep the 2 CTs there. As they're going to be gathering up together. Maybe go for a hit towards this brackets area. Or once more, it's Sicko. And he has been hitting almost 90+% of his shots.
Be a bit of a push in towards this B site, maybe trying to sell some noise, try and keep people dedicated. Although if you look at the positioning of the remaining Renegades players, it doesn't look like anybody's planning on rotating anytime soon, both deep within the site. We're gonna see those nades thrown over, but actually the defense from this A site is not going anywhere. They're still both sat pretty within the site. 30 seconds up and coming on the clock as the push will begin. Now, at least 2 kills are needed, and the incendiary could actually buy some time, but probably not enough to really stop this push from coming in. There's still going to need to be kills, but Hats actually hits one with a nade. Now, crossing past Sicko's going to be tough, but he misses another shot. It's become a bit awkward. Hats has done his job. Sicko, can you do the rest? Oh! Seemingly he can. Sick, no scope, and Nedic, he's got no time. There's a matter of seconds left before the clock ticks away, and Renegades are going to hold on. But it's mainly down to Hats. That was a strong hold.
That was such a beautiful crossfire right there. I love what he did. They waited patiently, like you mentioned. They waited for the utility to be utilized and waited for the footsteps to come in. What does Hats do? Immediately drops down to try and ensure that he's not just going to get a kill and get traded immediately, right? He falls down, saves Sicko, because Sicko missed a shot there. Firstly, the nade. Great nade kill. And then, like I said, Hats getting that kill. That's all he needed. And Sicko doing a great job of staying alive. No scope, of course. Like, wonderfully done. But, yeah, Renegades... solid hold, not really falling for the shenanigans of Rooster. And I you know what, I like what Rooster did. There was almost like a double fake thing going on there, you know, very late noise being made towards B. The timing was good. It's just that Renegades are just too experienced. They're not going to fall for those. And now 14 to 10, these get to 10 rounds, and they get more as a question. Renegades though, the money's still looking rough, Tom. If Rooster can somehow manage to steal this round away, they're going to break the economy once more. And that means maybe a 14-12, maybe a 14-13.
Yeah, the same on the other side, though. Their money is not in the best of states, and Sicko, well, he gave you some warning shots over the last few rounds. It's not going to last forever. It's somewhat of an art. I think that if I was going to pick a player, I would say it was mastered by Fallen. I remember, like, if you look at an Inform Simp or an Inform JW, they hit everything. I feel like an Inform Fallen is just his ability to stay alive in situations where he was never allowed to or never should have done. And I think Sicko's done quite well at that, is even if he's missed a couple of shots, he stayed alive in a lot of these rounds and just made things really tough for the Roosters. And now, well, he comes back to the point of just not missing a beat. 28 seconds just gone past on the clock, and there is no ground gathered. They're trying to make a play into this B site while the bomb is still on A. I'm not even sure what the plan is here from the remaining players of Rooster, and this is a slaughter. 15 to 10, multiple players dying to Molotovs. It's another weird round, and it's another that Renegades win.
Yeah, that was just very weird. We're going for the full B commit, bomb all alone, trapped towards A, and yeah, good hold from Enzo, of course, towards the B bomb. So, but Renegades, yeah, they did seem to lift their foot off the pedal a little bit. Kind of unfortunate, but that's how city side economy can be, right? Like, you lose a crucial round, and boom, you're just stuck with pistols for maybe 2 rounds back to back. That was ludicrous, just exchanging Molotovs. But here we go. Like you said, Rooster's money wasn't that great, and now they have a Deagle, a Tech 9, 3 AK-47s. 5 smokes, a Molotov, and a couple of flashes. That's all they have to work with. For Renegades, the only thing missing here is a kitchen sink.
Yeah, if they take that, then I really do worry because, well, they pretty much have the whole map if they manage to get into the kitchen. But even still, He's looking like they might go for something a little bit more basic. We can see them gathering up in towards the B site, where they have had some relative success so far. Malta being caught out a couple of times, and Inz's aggression really wasn't working. I like that they've fallen back more passive, but as they tried to boost, they've been spotted. This is so much information. They know where the second player is, and because of that, it's going to be trades. Inz's got another kill with a Molotov. This is now multi-frags with Molotovs over the last couple of rounds, and there's still a hell of a lot of utility remaining for the side of Renegades to make this retake work.
As this retake, it is very doable though. They have a couple of Molotovs, but okay, all right, Renegades just slowly. Are they going to be falling back? Looks like they are. Maybe not. 20 seconds. There's not much time to really go for this as Dexter finds 80k, but that should be the call. Sicko's like, yeah, all right, not going to be able to trade here, and it's going to be well, Rooster staying alive for at least one more round. They're going to be fighting on 15-11. And already probably one of the better scorelines we've seen from Rooster against Renegades. They won one game, one map earlier on Nuke, Tom. Apart from that, I don't think they've been able to hit 11 rounds ever against the Renegades.
No, you are correct, especially on Inferno. Like, Inferno's normally been the most dominant of all of them. A 16-5 and a 16-7 in recent history when they played just last month. So this is easily the closest. I would say that obviously for Rooster, as we've sort of said, a caveat of being Renegades is everybody's preparing for Renegades. So I imagine that there's been a lot of prep work to try and counter specific players and maybe stop some of the aggression, which is something that we've seen a couple of rounds, for example, with Dexter being able to thread the needle and catch them off guard. But anything else that's been attempted on Banana has actually failed quite miserably. Like, you think about how many times Inz has gone down when they have tried to be a bit more aggressive. This is an interesting round though, Blair. 4 players on B, pistols mostly, and then they've left the one solo AWP on the other side of the map in the hands of Sicko. They're looking to try and end this with a bit of a cheesy strategy.
I'm personally not a big fan of like leaving your one rifle, especially with an AWP, all by his lonesome there. But I can also see a world where, you know, rattles off a shot and they're like, oh, the opposite A, just run B. And boom, their 4 CDs ready and waiting. Okay, that is a lot of damage. As I do believe a player seems to have dropped for a Rooster. That's so unfortunate. And despite getting a kill, it's still a 4v4.
They're going to go pushing into the AWP as well, but it seems like Sicko's only going to get away with one. Looks to reposition, doesn't hit the player dropping down, but knows that he's now trapped within the pit. The thing is, though, they're actually going to go rotating back. I quite like this. They've held one player into A, and the retake, well, actually, it would still be possible if they were to wrap back around. Some rifles picked up. It's only going to be 2 players remaining, and look at the position of Chelios. He's trying to take a big risk. He knows that this round is all but over if they don't try and make some sort of play, and he's going to catch out Sicko. No, he's not! Oh, his gun was inside the man, but it's not enough to kill him, and it's left all onto Danny. He's in the same boat. He's trying to be proactive. He knows this 1v4 isn't going to happen if he sits on the site, but the bomb's already been tapped. First kill goes his way. The second is close, but he knows he needs to get in to try and deny any sort of defusal. There's no one defending it, though, and there's not much time left on the clock. He is going to go down. I think Sicko has to run to get there with the kit. This is going to be so close.
Oh, that's just heartbreak. But Sicko has been